Okay, let's jump into this stack of sources you've shared. It's quite a mix we have here.
Yeah, definitely. We've got international politics, some space news, and even a public safety incident, all pretty recent.
Right, so the plan is to take these reports, mostly from ex post, it looks like, and just quickly pull out the main things so you get a sense of what's been going on.
Exactly. Just the highlights, what matters from these snapshots in time.
So let's start with global politics then. Your sources point to a couple of interesting moves reportedly from President Trump.
Yes, the report suggests some, well, very direct actions. There was an ex post from AP Tuesday morning, I think.
Okay.
It reported President Trump advised Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu to delay a potential strike.
Delay a strike, that's quite specific.
Yeah.
And the source connected this to what? Iran.
Yeah, linked it to the U.S. trying to get a new nuclear deal with Iran, sort
Yeah.
of, making space for those talks by advising a delay.
Hmm. So the implication, according to the source, is about Middle East stability, giving diplomacy a chance, maybe.
Precisely. That kind of reported direct advice, pushing for a deal while maybe asking an ally to hold back. It's presented as a significant diplomatic approach, high stakes, certainly.
Okay. And there was another report, something about Ukraine from CNN.
That's right. Also, Tuesday morning. This one said President Trump stated he'd give President Putin 2 more weeks
2 weeks? For what?
to show he was serious about peace in Ukraine. That was the gist of the report.
2 weeks. Wow. But did the source say what happens after 2 weeks if nothing changes?
Well, that's the thing. The report highlighted that lack of specifics. No mention of, consequences or next steps if the deadline passes without results.
So it creates a bit of uncertainty then? A deadline, but then what?
Exactly. That's the key takeaway from the source material there. Taken together, these two reports, coming out so close, seem to paint a picture, according to the sources, of a foreign policy style using direct demands and timelines.
Even if the follow-through isn't spelled out.
Uh,
Okay, let's completely shift gears now. From Earth politics to, well, space. There was news about SpaceX, a setback.
yes, a significant one, it seems. Both the New York Times and AP reported on it Monday. SpaceX's Starship program, the ninth test flight,
Yeah, what happened?
didn't go well. The report said it spun out of control during descent, coming back through the atmosphere.
Spun out. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then broke apart, didn't survive reentry.
Oof. That's tough. Building the world's most powerful rocket?
Mm.
It sounds incredibly hard.
It really is. And this failure, well, it just underscores those huge technical challenges. Controlling that massive vehicle coming back into the atmosphere is extremely difficult.
And the Starship, it's pretty central to future plans, right? Like U.S. space ambitions, Mars missions, that sort of thing.
Absolutely central. So a failure like this isn't just, a problem for SpaceX. The sources suggest it could potentially delay those bigger goals.
Right.
It really highlights the risks in private space exploration. You aim high, but the setbacks can be, well, dramatic and costly.
Yeah.
Still learning a lot at that edge.
Okay, bringing it back down to earth for the last item, a public safety incident. This one sounds pretty concerning. From Arkansas.
Yes, really alarming. An AP report from Monday evening about a state prison there.
What happened? The source said, it's almost hard to believe, an ex-police chief.
An ex-Arkansas police chief, yeah. Already in prison, serving time for murder.
Okay.
Reportedly, he managed to impersonate a guard
Impersonate a guard and
then was allowed to just walk out of the prison.
walk out. Just like that. That's stunning. I mean, the immediate thing is obvious, right? A manhunt.
For sure. A convicted murderer is out there who shouldn't be. That's the immediate crisis implied by the report.
But the source mentioned broader issues, too.
Definitely. It raises serious questions, according to the reporting, about just how secure things are. Prison protocols, procedures, vulnerabilities.
And given he was former law enforcement, that adds another layer, doesn't it?
It does. The source points to potential impacts on public trust. Trust in the justice system, in law enforcement, when something like this happens, it's deeply troubling.
Wow. So, okay, we've just covered quite a range. High-level diplomacy reports,
Yeah.
the challenges of space travel, and a really shocking local security failure.
Yeah, it's a real mix, all happening incredibly quickly across very different areas.
Right. And thinking about how we get this news, often these super short updates, like on X, fast bursts of information on really complex things. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How does receiving updates this way, so fast, so fragmented, across such different topics, how does that actually shape your understanding of, well, everything that's going on? Something to think about.